the abundance of events and conflicts with dates. So that's the most discussed topic among many chess players these days. And if my information is correct, you were actually the one who initiated the open letter by a group of top players who protested, I would say, against the decision of EWC to hold the chess finals within the same dates as the Grand Chess Tour. Can you give a little bit more background on this?
Absolutely. So yeah, what happened is I learned beginning of January about this clash of dates, and to me it seemed like unacceptable simply. So of course we're still 6 months away. I mean, at the time it was 7 months away, and it was given to us as things cannot change. These dates are final and so on. And to me, that's just extremely strange. So I took the decision, of course, to talk with my peers. Most of the players involved, especially, were already signed for the Grand Chess Tour. But, for instance, Ali Reza has already qualified to Esports World Cup final. And, I expect many more players as well to do qualify. It's just strange to me that these two very important events would collide. And there are two reasons why that's an issue, like maybe even more, but let's say two main reasons. One is we signed a contract. I signed a contract with my team, Vitality, in good faith, saying I need to play for Esports World Cup. If I'm qualified, I need to be there. At the same time, and without knowledge of the clash, I signed a contract, of course, with the Grand Chess Tour. And I do need to play the Singfield Cup, which will suddenly clash. And so, as it happens, and it's my case, but it's also the case for some other players, we have two contracts that we signed in good faith, and we are being forced to breach one. So that's like not really nice. And for instance, let's say, if the Esports World Cup was an invitational event, that it gives a chance to some other players maybe to play. Why not? But these are tournaments you qualify to. So everyone has the right to play and try to qualify for this Esports World Cup. So it's really about who qualifies, who deserves to be there. And if I'm qualified, I expect it to be able to. So, yeah, I talked with the players, and of course, like I said, a lot of players agreed. What happened is, of course, some of these players are busy with candidates preparation. Some of them were playing in VIC. So that's why I took, the initiatives and maybe was mostly involved in writing the letter. But overall, it was obviously a collective effort, and I'm glad that we managed that, too often in the past, the players wouldn't be able to unionize in a way. And no, we don't have a union, strictly speaking, but hopefully this will happen in the future, that players are more ready to work together and, to try and make things change when they're not right, simply.
Yeah, thanks for helping chess players unionize a little bit more. I think it's definitely for the better. Have you watched Hikaru's video where he criticized you guys and said that you are like spoiled for choice and you should let other players play the EWC and that you do not bring the viewership? That's what he said.
Yeah, I saw that, and well, I already partly answered that, other players are entitled to qualify to Esports World Cup. So I don't really get his point there. Maybe he wants to give up his spot. Why not then? But of course, I recognize that Hikaru has brought a lot of viewership, but I think he underestimates, for instance, the viewership from friends that I can bring, and the viewership that can be brought from India, that can be brought by Fabi, that can be brought by Ali Reza as well. There are many countries which are keen on playing chess, and the viewership from France, for instance, is maybe underestimated, but there's viewership from India, from Iran, from Uzbekistan, it's a great country of chess and so on. From Germany with Vincent, everyone can bring in viewership. So, calling us spoiled also, like, it is not the point. I mean, like I said, we have commitments and that we entered in good faith, and we cannot just choose a situation that's impossible. We're definitely gonna breach a contract if things stays the same. And maybe that doesn't matter for some people, but contract is important. Calling us greedy because, I mean, of course we're gonna earn more money if we can play both, but to me the point is playing the most important events of the year to represent my team vitality, and to play the best chess tour of the year, the Grand Chess Tour, which has been there for 10 years. I mean, it's not really too much to ask that these two really important events of the year. I mean, of course, there's candidates and the World Championship match, but I mean, these two events are definitely part of the most important events of the year. They shouldn't clash, and I think there's 6 months left, so I don't see before the event starts. I don't see why it would be impossible for a change of days not to happen. Calling us greedy, that just really bad face from Hikaru.
And do you feel optimistic about like the possibility to find a compromise? Because the EWC definitely has like lots of esports, lots of participants, and I've heard that there used to be similar stories with some other esports, and they did not change the schedule in that case.
Absolutely, that's a very real issue. I mean, at the end of the day, if nobody budges, what can we really do? That's the question. At the very least, one good thing I think is that we spoke, and I mean, if we hadn't spoken, I could see this issue recurring every year. I'm hoping that at the very least, this will not happen in the next years. That's the very least I hope for. But of course, I also hope that again, I understand that there's a lot of issues, and maybe for instance, Esports World Cup doesn't want to do anything for some reason, and maybe for some organizational reason. But there's still 6 months to do something, and I really don't see why nothing can change in 6 months, and all days for both EWC and Grand Chess Tour are written in stone. To me, that is just bad, and again, it impacts a lot of top players. So I'm working towards a solution to be found. I mean, along with my colleagues. I hope this can be done. I mean, if it cannot, ultimately, I mean, at least it won't be for lack of trying.
And if nothing changes, what will you play? If you qualify for the EWC finals and you have the Grand Chess Tour, the Sinklov Cup, right, at the same time?
It could ultimately depend on my positions and my standings, but generally, of course, I would most likely play the Grand Chess Tour. I mean, I've been playing the Grand Chess Tour for 10 years and very successfully, and I'm very grateful for what they brought to chess. But it would pain me because I'm also very happy with Team Vitality, with how we handle things together. So I mean, I don't want to set my word in stone, let's say publicly, that I will play Grand Chess Tour. But in general, yeah, that's by far the most likely outcome.